I think this is a fitting time you thank your rescuers, Rivian. Don't you?
Man, Rivian's just having a day, isn't he? Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Chess Up Blade. So we're gonna continue where we left off, and Rivian was tossed across the room because, you know, that's how you deal with your enemies. I crashed directly into the assassin, and both of us go flying from the brutal force of the impact. His sword flies out from his hand and clatters to the ground, followed by our own bodies a moment later. Luckily, he's beneath me, serving me as a cushion for my fall. Well, at least, you know, he didn't hit the stone, so I guess that helps. Well, this is a little awkward. As I wince, recovering from the shock, I chuckle nervously down at the equally stunned assassin. Okay, Rivian, probably not the best time for trading niceties. I have to go! Gotta go fast! I leap up into my feet and dive for the assassin's blade nearby, scooping it up and running as fast as I can. A moment later, I hear scuffling as he jumps up and starts darting after me, grunting in frustration.
I'm going to rip your limbs off and relish every scream.
Well, that's nice. After seizing the moment of confusion to run and grab his discarded sword, Sabre approaches the guard, who hesitantly unsheaths his own blade and retreats a few steps. Shit, this is bad. I'm not too worried about Sabre, but this assassin is hot on my heels. That sounds very lovely in my ears. The two men clash weapons, and the force of that Sabre's anger blow makes the guard stagger. But a moment of impact, I see Sabre suddenly wince, his face contorting in pain. That's right, his injury! Normally this fight should have been a breeze for him, but moving like that probably just reopened the wound in his side. Oh yeah, because he was fighting with Kieran. Oh no.
You?
An infuriated growl comes from behind me, and if I turn around now, he'll probably dive for me and grab the sword out of my hands. He's also just as fast as he was before. I definitely prefer chasing him to being chased by him, I'll say that much. Cheetah bastard, go back to Savannah! Oh my god! I expend some of my precious breath to let out a loud curse while dashing forward. A loud grunt comes from nearby and Sabre leaps away from the guard. He seems to be on defense now. Despite his superior height and strength, I can tell that things are going to get worse. The guard's also in full armor, so if Sabre did land a hit, it probably won't cause any real damage. Shit! Ugh! A force suddenly slams into my back. I topple down onto the floor onto my stomach, pinned down by the assassin's weight. Oh gods! Is this it? Is this the end? His fingers grab my wrist and start to pry the blade from my hand.
Sabre! Rivian!
Huh? What? Is that Kieran? Is that who I think it is?
Kieran!
You're late.
Yes! Mr. Abs is coming! Sabre roars at Kieran's name with delight, and a windfall of strength abruptly appears to flood through him. He charges for the guard with renewed energy, swinging out with all his might. The weight from my back vanishes a moment later. Hey! When I frantically turn around, I see the assassin squirming in Kieran's arms, kicking wildly.
Were you trying to give him a hug? You're doing it all wrong, you know? Here, let me show you.
He suddenly starts to squeeze the man against his broad chest, and it doesn't take long before the assassin struggles to breathe. Just before it looks like his bones are about to break, Kieran hurls him away with all his might, and he lands on the floor with a tremendous thud. Someone's gonna be taking a nap for a little bit.
Sabre, hold on!
He gestures towards where Sabre and the guard are still clashing in a desperate struggle. The moment the guard sees Kieran, however, he starts to retreat. But before he can get to a safe distance, Kieran rushes behind him. Just like that, he gets body slammed onto the ground, armor and all. Sabre immediately closes in, ripping off the guard's helmet. He appears momentarily to hesitate, staring at the blade of his sword for a long moment with a wild look in his eyes. It's the look of a tiger opening its jaws to start tearing into its prey, cold, hungry, and utterly feral. But then, his gaze drifts over towards me. What's happening? Gradually, the bestial tint of Sabre's features fade, and his lips twist into a savage smirk. He slams the pommel of the blade against the guard's head. It's super painful, but it only looks like enough force to render the man unconscious, rather than blow and intent to break his skull. He stops struggling, and with that, the previous action-filled the chamber goes completely silent. The only sound remaining is the haggard breathing. Sabre, Kieran, and I all exchange glances. A few moments longer pass where no one speaks a word. Finally, I push myself up to my feet, and a sudden pain to my shoulder makes me wince. Ugh. Sabre, I swear, the next time you use me as a javelin, I'm going to tear your balls off.
Wait. He used you as a...
He turns to Sabre with a look of utter awe. When Sabre silently nods in response, Kieran looks as if someone just told him he's been crowned king.
You...
Alright, I guess we're just laughing now. We almost got murdered. And then Rivian just starts laughing too. It's okay, we almost died, it's fine. We all break into fits of uncontrollable laughter, partially from relief and partially from how implausible the whole situation is. It takes a while for us to calm down and catch our breath, and my face grows streaked with tears from so much coughing. After he makes Sabre promise to recount the whole story of the Rivian spear toss at a later date, Kieran grabs a hold of the guard and starts to drag him towards the door. Despite his injuries, Sabre can still easily haul the much lighter assassin over his shoulder and carries him with walking alongside Kieran. Turns out we're an underground chamber that only accessible by a ladder, but after a bit of work and multiple trips, we finally managed to get both unconscious men up to the surface. Hey, Linnaeus! What's up? I'm just here with my two boyfriends bringing you the bad guys. I wish I could burn the image of Linnaeus' expression when we deposited the two snoring disciples into his office into my mind forever. Let's just say it was a sight worth seeing, and my life is definitely much better because of it. After explaining the main points of the story and tastily leaving out Sabre's involvement, the three of us leave Linnaeus' chamber and head down the hall, still snickering now and then. I still have a number of questions I want to ask Sabre himself, including how and why he even got involved with the disciples in the first place, but after that, I think I'm better off waiting till tomorrow.
By the way, Rivian, does my invitation to your room still stand?
Yeah, sure! Sabre suddenly nudges to my side as we walk along, quirking an eyebrow at me with a provocative curl of his lips upward. Well, I suppose I could. You too, Kieran, if you don't want to return all the way back to the fighters' quarters.
Really? But I wouldn't wish to intrude on your private time. Wouldn't I be a bother?
Oh my god! The two of them chuckle at my flustered response, but I sulkily lead the way back to my chambers anyway, shooting both men inside. Oh, here we go. We just got both the boys in here. I thought the room was fairly large, but now the two semi-giants standing around feels very small indeed. However, I can't help but grin a little at Sabre and Kieran's examining the room with a surprise and adoration, gazing at all around like two little boys stepping into a castle for the first time. It's a bit sparse in terms of furnishing, but you know, it's not a bad place. You like it? The smugness leaks out into my voice before I can help it. I realized my mistake the moment both men's expressions darkened, taking a wiggly, vengeful tint.
Oh, I like it a great deal. Kieran?
What's happening? As soon as Sabre calls to him, Kieran steps forward and presses up behind my back, taking a hold of my head. Is a threesome gonna happen? Sabre approaches me a second after, with his large, warm palms pressed down either side of my face. Is this really happening? That's what I am asking too. Should I be scared or aroused? Carouse? Oh my god! Almost ravenously, Sabre dives and presses his lips against my own. Find myself returning the kiss with a similar eagerness that surprises even me. I run my fingers through his bright hair and pull it slightly. I was also terrified back there, for Sabre even more than myself. I realize how thankful I am that we're here together safely, and that my concern for him stems from something more than just friendship or admiration.
Hey. Are you really not going to share, Sabre?
Oh my god! Jesus Christ. Kieran's playfully hurt words suddenly purr from behind my ear, and I pulled back from the kiss in surprise. Sabre lets out a soft sigh, nodding somewhat reluctantly.
I guess I do owe you one, after you saved us like that. Go on.
Go on, it's okay, take my boyfriend. Wait, do I not have to say in this at all? I guess he doesn't! I abruptly turned around to face Kieran instead, who gently but swiftly pulls me into a kiss. His lips are softer than Sabre's, and he warmly presses forward with his tongue and teases it into my mouth. Does it make me a harlot to say that I don't really mind this at all? Maybe a little bit. Sure, I'm usually a traditionalist about monogamy and all of that, but the fact that both of them are wholly focused on me, well, let's just say it soothes the whole wounded pride I was nursing earlier. Oh my god, I part my lips to let Kieran's tongue dart inside, twirling my own against it, and let my hands wander over his exquisitely carved abdomen in the meanwhile. I like how he goes for the abs. Behind me, Sabre starts to impatiently cover the nape of my neck with kisses, his mouth warm and hot as it wanders in my ear, where he takes a lobe between his teeth with a sharp nip. Oh, okay. When Kieran eventually breaks off the kiss, I'm pulled over to the bed by the two pair of strong hands. Oh my god! And those hands immediately get to work stripping me off of my clothes. Come on now, 2 against 1 isn't fair. Kieran's already half naked, but both of you still need to strip.
As you command.
Sounding all too happy to comply with my embarrassed accusation, Sabre throws off his coat and starts to work on his pants. Kieran does the same, pulling off bits of armor and beaming eagerly as he slides out of his trousers. Oh my god, it's not hard to be in awe of the two fighters' wonderfully built forms, which are works of art on their own. Horse is incredibly intimidating too, especially when my eyes take the sight of their hardening the dick's coming out!
I think this is a fitting time you thank your rescuers, Rivian. Don't you?
Man, Rivian's just having a day, isn't he? Sabre, who is sitting on his haunches, reaches out to pull me forward into another kiss. His powerful arms are warm and comforting as they wrap rather possessively around my body. The sensation makes me start to relax before I know it, and I lean against his scarce chest without hesitation. Behind me, something hot suddenly starts to drag wetly along my back. Oh, okay. I realize it's Kieran's tongue teasing up the spine and towards my bare shoulders, exploring me impatiently. The sweet sensation makes me tremble and whimper soft against Sabre's lips. Dealing with one or the other is overwhelming enough. I don't know if I can handle getting greedily shared by both of them. Yeah, I don't know if I can handle this either.
He really is worked up, isn't he? It's like he's more impatient than we are.
Yeah, it's happening! Okay, yep, something's happening with Rivian. He's enjoying this, let's just say, but he also said he's a little embarrassed. Woo, okay. This is incredibly lewd and satisfying. That's what Rivian's words, everybody. That's nice. I can't show any of this. Oh my god. Though Kieran's abs look really nice in this shot, though. What the fuck? It isn't over yet! Oh my god! How many times? Jesus! I cannot show that, but damn. Props to Rivian, that's all I'm gonna say. Jesus Christ, it's over. Okay. The next morning, my carriage arrived at the gates, beckoning me home. Can't remember having to ever say a difficult goodbyes as the one I said to Kieran and Sabre. The three of us shared a long embrace, and I didn't want the long moments I spent between their arms to ever end. Sabre's expression in particular broke my heart. He smiled down at me with the look of a man trying to act happy, but I could tell that he loathed us to separate, as I was. So they didn't get to see each other again? That kinda sucks. We promised each other we'd meet again in some way. I told him where my family's manor was, and he made a note of it, and yet, when I brought it up to the prospects of visiting, he seemed embarrassed, almost guilty at the very idea. I figured it was because of his involvement with the disciples, which he explained to me earlier in the morning. He had been drawn to them because of his bitter feelings towards the king and his court, all of whom who treated him like some exotic attraction rather than a human being. The disciples promised a way to gain revenge, which is why he kidnapped Hazel and tried to leverage over the king. Sabre refused to explain why he took her specifically, but he seemed thoroughly ashamed of himself for even committing such an act in the first place. I thought his guiltiness is eating away at him, and he won't be happy with himself until he finds redemption in some way or another. As sad as it makes me, I realize I can't stop him from searching for that, wherever the path may take him. But there's no way I'll ever forget his tiger-like smile or the first embrace he had me in the storage room, and especially not when he used me like a makeshift weapon. I'm grateful I could meet someone so special even if it was under such strange circumstances. As I gazed out the carriage window and the long path home, I thought to myself, that perhaps parties weren't bad after all.
Rivian.
What? From the hallway outside my room, I hear the voice of a family maid. She probably is delivering some kind of scolding message from father. I'll just pretend I didn't hear. Oh, this is his house. I returned my attention to the book currently in my hand, flipping through the pages while admiring the leather cover. On the brain, the heart, and the connection to the soul. Fascinating new connection of science and philosophy. Really, I can't tear myself away from it.
Sir? Hello?
A soft knock comes on my door. I guess I'm not going to get off this one, am I? Reluctantly, I put the tome down on my seat and shuffle over to the door.
Hello, sir. I just wanted to inform you the bookbinder you hired has arrived. Your father was most pleased that you decided to learn such a valuable trade as a hobby. He really thinks.
Bookbinder? I didn't hire any book... I freeze, scrunching up my nose in confusion. What on earth? Well, send them up, I suppose. Thank you, Sarah. She nods and turns to trot down the hall after a short curtsy. Really, though? What's with this bookbinding business? Although, now that I think of it, it would be quite fun to learn how to bind books. I'm around them all day, anyhow, so it'd be a fitting pastime. I decided to leave the door open and stroll back to my room, letting out a long yawn and stretching my arms over my head. If Father's praying for it, he might as well take advantage of some tutelage. Maybe then he'll stop badgering me about becoming a diplomat. Just as I stood to lower myself back down on the chair, the sound of thudding footsteps in the hall reached my ears. I jumped back out, smoothing my clothes, trying to look as professional as possible for the new arrival. The Sabre. And then, as I see the person who steps through my doorway, my jaw practically hits the floor. Sabre? A weak voice spills from my lips. For a long few moments, I stare across the room with a remarkable, tall, ginger-haired, well-dressed, and professional-looking man. Who, without a doubt, is the same one I met a year ago at the king's birthday celebration. Oh, damn, it's been a year since we've seen each other.
You're even more adorable than I remember.
Aww. As if a spell was suddenly broken, we were rushed forward and I throw myself into his arms. He picks me up off the ground like a kitten, but I'm far too overwhelmed with joy to care one bit. Instead, I just hug him as tightly as I can possibly manage, gazing down with disbelief at his handsome features. You big dolt! I thought you'd forgotten all about me! Why did you at least send a letter? Sabre chuckled as I banged my fist against his broad, muscular chest, swallowing back the lump that forms in my throat. He squeezes me so hard that his arms are almost, that I almost lose my breath for a second.
How could I? I wanted to surprise you. It'd be ruined if I updated you on my progress all the way. Although I've been missing you something terrible.
His fingers drip through my hair, cradling the back of my head. That gentle touch immediately makes them all the memories from last year flood back to me, and I struggle to keep a composure. Oh, Rivian actually looks so happy there. Look at him. You're a bookbinder now, and you're going to teach me the craft. Is this a dream?
It's no dream. I'm just following in my father's footsteps.
Oh, okay.
After I returned home for the first time since the king took me away as a boy, my old man could hardly believe his eyes. I thought I'd never be good at anything else, besides fighting. But father told me he'd always wanted to mentor me in his craft.
That's nice.
He never got a chance. But now that his majesty let me go, I can finally learn an honest trade.
He lets loose a warm sigh, squeezing me against as if he were reassuring himself that I'm real.
I'm still studying the arts to try and master it, but I've learnt enough to start teaching it myself. And what better pupil than a cute little peacock like you?
I thud my fist on Sabre's chest again at his teasing, to which he grins broadly and presses his lips to my cheek. Well, that's nice! He went back home! Of course, after some tears and much needed kisses, I made him explain his journey and decision to return home in full detail, including how he gave up being a fighter. The ever-shrewd Linnaeus probably guessed Sabre's feelings and had a backstory we had neglected to tell him, because he recommended the king that Sabre be released from the his gladiatorial position. Despite his natural talent for fighting, it is clear that Sabre hated being forced into it. Hey, Linnaeus, help! That's good! He seems so much happier now. Just hearing the gentle rumble in his voice fills me with pure delight and that I didn't know was possible. What about Kieran? I finally made him promise to visit me every day and he agreed to start visiting his own house on the outskirts of the capital as well. There's no way I intend to let go of Sabre again. Many to much my relief, he seems to feel the same, because he was so reluctant to leave my side that I had to practically shove him out the door that night. I waved to him all the way until his horse disappeared around the hill, and even then I remained standing at the threshold, smiling blissfully up at the starry sky. Even if my life never gets exciting as it was at the celebration again, rife with plots, assassins, and intrigue, I think I'll be perfectly happy just like this. After all, the business is better left to nobles who don't have a tendency to fall for rustic fighters turned bookbinders. And after today, I think I can safely say that I've left that category far, far behind. Okay, turns out there's no bad ending, there's just only one ending for this route, so at least that's nice. Anyway, so my thoughts for Sabre's route, I like that it's a bonus one. This was actually a bonus route for their extended Kickstarter goal, so that was cool. I like the threesome thing, that was pretty cool, you know, Rivian just hanging out with Kieran. But, like, the thing is, like, I don't really know if I like the relationship, mainly because, like, they don't really get to know each other that well, like, compared to, like, the other guys. And it's just, I feel like it's a bit random, like, how much Rivian falls for Sabre so quickly and then he feels something for him right away, rather than questioning him, because you know Rivian, throughout the other routes, he's always questioning stuff like, why is this happening, why am I doing this? Even when he was starting to like Franz, Arden, or Linnaeus, he was always like, why am I feeling this way? With Sabre, he's just like, it's okay, he used to be part of a cult. It's fine. So I don't know if I really like that, but in general, it was a great bonus route. So that comes to the end of Chess Ablaze. This was actually the final route. Unfortunately, there's no more. Would have been cool if they had like a Silas route, but sadly we couldn't get that. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this Let's Play series for Chess Ablaze. I had a lot of fun playing it. And it's definitely one of those yaoi or boys love visual novels that aren't like cliche, if you understand what I mean, where it's just about dudes banging, and that's pretty stupid. But I like that this one has a story to it, and you know, there's different endings, the artwork is beautiful, the music is amazing as well, and it's beautifully written, especially all the other characters and how different their personalities are compared to just having this like one monotone kind of thing with a lot of like dating sims that I've seen or visual novels that I've seen. And also the fact that Rivian is a very round-outed character, and I really like that. It's easy to relate to him. I want to thank AGirlAndAGame once again for sending me a game key to try out this game. I really loved it. It was really great, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the companions. And if you would like to help support the channel on Patreon, the link is in the description, or you can support the channel for free with gawkbox.com/AGirlAndAGame. And yeah, if you guys use that, it'll help me continue making videos and continue this channel overall. So yeah, that was great. Now we're gonna start off with new Let's Plays on this channel, which I don't know what it will be, but whatever it is, I hope you'll be there. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Did that bee just sting you? Come back here, you bitch bee coward! I'm gonna fuck you up! Min moves indigently between Dia and the bee. She's trying to protect Dia from the bee. And sometimes that brings people together in a not so cute way. Here are 6 terribly awkward romances in video games. Number 6. Cole and Elsa.